Hello, we're doing a few things today. The main event is a steak pizza. It's not a Philly steak pizza because I'm going to have a red sauce on the crust. I'm going to start off by making the homemade crust. We're going to cut up some toppings for it. We've got to rest and wait for the dough to rise. So all kinds of things happening here at Purple Hat Nation today. Stay tuned. Should be a simple recipe to follow. All right, I've got one of these KitchenAid stand mixers. You've probably seen it in previous episodes. I'm going to start out with my all-purpose flour. Some people use bread flour. I don't have bread flour. 1 cup. We're actually using about 2 and 2/3 cups of flour, but just 1 for now. And then a packet of yeast, but I don't have any packets of yeast. We have just this big batch. So a packet, those little tiny envelope packets, equals 2 1/4 teaspoons. So I'll have to measure it out. And 1/4. Two teaspoons of granulated sugar. Garlic powder. Some people don't put that in at this point. Then I've got some dried basil leaves. A little bit of salt. And we just mix this together. Here we go. If you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, you can just get a big bowl, use a wooden spoon. Just like that. Need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. That's at least what I put in it. 1, 2. A little bit more for good measure. 3/4 cup warm water. Not hot water, not cold water, warm water. Does something with the yeast. A little bit of honey. Got all our ingredients together. Time to mix it back up. After it mixes for a little bit, put another cup of flour in. Some people have probably perfected the art of dumping flour in while it's mixing. I have not. Make a complete mess. That's why I stop it. Once the dough starts pulling off of the side of the mixer, or if you're doing it by hand, pulling away from the bowl, you know it's getting ready to form into a ball. Looks pretty good. Smells good already too. Here's what it looks like so far. That's our pizza dough. Now you need a bowl. And I like to spray my bowl on the inside with olive oil. This is the bowl that this pizza dough will rest in. You need to take it out of this bowl though. This can be messy, at least for me. Here's my pizza dough. Now, I like to get it in this bowl, roll it around that olive oil spray a little bit. Form it into a ball. cover this tightly with plastic wrap, set it over there near the window, which is above the baseboard heater, and let it rise. I like to let it sit and rest for a couple of hours. Okay, one of the things we're doing while we're waiting for that dough to rise is preparing our toppings. So I've got our meat here. I've got a round steak I'm pounding out, and I have a veal sirloin steak. It's probably way too much, but I'll save some of it and make a stir fry with it some other night this week. Pounding it out with this nice mallet. Alright, just going to do a little easy marinade, a little olive oil. A little slap your mama seasoning. A little white wine vinegar. You won't taste much of that, but it will tenderize the meat. A little salt. Cover that, saran wrap, stick it in the fridge. Okay, all the onions and tomatoes are diced up for our guacamole and for the toppings for the pizza. I'm going to store them. I'm going to slice up a couple other red onions for our next activity. Our next activity, while we wait for that dough to rise, I'm going to make a sandwich wrap for Laura for her lunch tomorrow. So I'm going to use some Thousand Island dressing. Put it on this. Look at how big that wrap is. That'll make a nice sandwich. Dressing is on. Holy cow, a bunch of snow just fell off the roof onto the back deck. Made a loud noise. So I've got this leftover chicken from dinner from the other night. I always try to cook an extra few pieces. Slice this up somewhat thin. Onion. There's an extra piece of cheese. Avocado. Don't worry, we have enough for guacamole tonight. 3 avocados. Extra. We're going to put a little bit of my brother-in-law Alan's secret cranberry sauce. There, let's wrap this up. All wrapped up. Ready to go. Now let's put it in saran wrap. Lunch for Laura for tomorrow. She'll probably share some of it with her coworker and friend, Rebecca. But there it is. Next activity. One down, 4 to go. Oh, it's a nice day out. The dough is starting to rise nicely. Still have to wait a little bit. So I've done dishes, I've done laundry, I ironed my shirts for the week, I made lunch for Laura, so I'm gonna go on a little walk. How about you come with me? I'll show you some things around the neighborhood. Okay, we're starting our walk. Sometimes I go that direction. You walk about a mile and you'll hit the golf course, which is a nice destination spot. But today I'm gonna take my normal route and go this way. We're gonna end up way over this hill. I like to do this every day, try to get 11,000 steps in. You'll see we got a lot of snow over the last couple of days. So let's get walking. I like to stop here and just look at and listen to the river for about 30 seconds on the way to and from the walk. Let's take 5 seconds. Okay, we've reached the mile marker, so we're 1 mile into our walk. It took a little bit longer than normal. I stopped to talk to our neighbor whose mailbox got knocked over by a snowplow, and I had to step way to the side of the road so I wouldn't get splashed with all the mud and slush on the roads. A lot of people driving today, so it's a big hill. Time to go home. The other side of the bridge. So I'm home from my walk, 2 miles, and the snow on the roof slid off onto the front stoop here, chair, and in front of the garage. So this will be something else to do later today. Boy, do I love winter in the North Country. Okay, we're ready to start making this pizza. Got our dough. It's risen nicely. I've punched it down a little bit. I'll pull it out of the bowl here in a second. Cheese. Got some Munster mozzarella balls. There's our marinated steak. It almost looks good enough to eat right now. And I got some red sauce here. I'm going to put a little ricotta on it. The red onions and tomatoes. Let's get cooking. Here's the fun part. Got the dough. I've dusted it with a little bit of flour and have some on my hands. I've oiled my pan. I can't flip it up in the air, sorry. I've tried that a few times. Gotta shut the door, my dogs just came in. All right, I'm gonna put this on the pan. Take a fork. Poke some holes in the bottom of the crust. Just like that. Now I like to stick this in the oven for a few minutes and get the crust cooking a little bit before I put the toppings on, because I like a crisp crust. So this is going in the oven now. Be back soon. Okay, that crust has been on there, and I should have told you before, I'm cooking outside on the gas grill. I've got a pizza stone out there. I put this pan right on top of the pizza stone. It gets the crust cooked just a little bit, then I'll put the toppings on, and then what I'll do is slide it off this pan onto that stone. The gas grill gets up to about 700 degrees. I try to turn it down to keep it at about 500 though. It's winter, lots of snow. It's easy to keep the temperature down. Let's top this pie. Red sauce, tomatoes, red onions, some Munster cheese, mozzarella cheese balls, ricotta, and of course the main ingredient, our steak. Putting it back onto that grill for about 10 minutes. Check that out. Our pizza is done. It's charred just a little bit on the edges, which I love. It's a little misshapen, but like I said, it's okay. It's a homemade pizza. I'm gonna let this cool just for a minute, then I'm gonna have a slice. Let's try this pizza. Oh yeah. A lot of flavor on there. You can taste the spices that I put into the dough. A little bit of the honey sweetness. The steak being marinated with that spice and the white wine vinegar. The ricotta cheese is a great ingredient to that. All right, that was my practice pizza. Now I have to make the real one for Laura and Carson. And they're gonna whip up some guacamole and some homemade salsa. And then we'll have dinner. We'll be back soon. We're ready to eat. Both pizzas are done. And here's the second one. I haven't sliced it yet. Had even more of a char around that crust. But you know that we like that here at Purple Hat Nation. Here's our guacamole. We've shown this in a previous episode, season 1. Got a spinach and artichoke dip here. We'll do that in a separate episode, but Carson wanted some, so we made some for him. Some homemade salsa. Got our pizza, paper plates tonight. This was actually a relaxing day, but we got a lot done. I was able to do a lot of household chores, cook some homemade pizza, had some time to go on a nice walk. I'll eat some dinner here and probably go relax in the living room this evening. So that's all for now. I'll see if Laura and Carson want to add anything to this episode with their opinion of dinner. If not, Purple Hat Nation, till next time, see ya. Okay, we're eating dinner now, and once again, Laura said no video, audio only for Laura. Once again. No video?
No audio.
Oh, no audio either. Okay.
You just gave some audio.
Yes. Carson, how do you feel about the pizza?
It's good dough.
Good dough? Good crust?
I would like the salt though.
Salt.
A little salt. A little salt.
We've made mistakes here by adding too much salt in the cooking process, so we're easy on the salt when we cook now. All right, that's it for now. Purple Hat Nation, till next time. Bye.